Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Thursday, March the 3rd. We do have a 7-game Thursday slate, and as always guys, we're going to talk through each one of these 7 games. We're going to break down each team, kind of give my early thoughts, what I do like taking a first look at the slate on Wednesday night. And then as we do go through each game, we will build out an early core. We'll talk about 5 players that do specifically stand out to me on both DraftKings and on Yahoo. But before we get started with the breakdown, please do hit the like button down below, guys. I always do appreciate the likes. And if you are new to the channel here, make sure to click that subscribe button as well. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers. Hopefully, we're going to hit that milestone maybe by the end of March, early April. If you're not subscribed, which there are a lot of you guys that watch my videos that aren't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll see all my videos right there on your YouTube homepage whenever you sign into YouTube. And lastly, if you want to check out the sponsor of the video, the sponsor of this video is PrizePicks. You can go sign up for PrizePicks and use code NOAH when you do, and PrizePicks will give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. So PrizePicks is basically a player prop based DFS site. It's a little bit different than DraftKings and FanDuel. You're not building out a lineup. You're not competing against other players. It's just you versus their projections. So PrizePicks has their projections for every player, and you basically pick whether you think they go over or under their projection. They already do have some stuff posted for Thursday's games. They have points, assists, rebounds, points, rebounds, assists added together. They have 3-pointers made. They have fantasy point projections as well. They usually get those posted early in the morning. They'll get them up Thursday morning. So you can take a look at their board. You can make some picks for yourself. If you guys are new here and you want to sign up for PrizePicks, definitely check them out. Sign up and use code NOAH, and they will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But let's take a look at Thursday's slate, guys. We're going to start off with the Chicago and Atlanta game, and there is some news to definitely keep an eye on in this game. It's on the Atlanta side, but we'll start off with the Bulls first. So looking at Chicago here, it is a pretty good matchup here for the Bulls going up against the Hawks. Hawks so far this season not been that great defensively in terms of pace. I mean, they've been about middle of the pack in pace this season. When the Bulls are fully healthy, I mean, I know they're still missing Lonzo and Caruso, but right now with DeRozan, Vooch, LaVine all healthy, it's always tough to prioritize these guys, especially like on a 7-game slate. I don't think any of these 3 Bulls guys stand out at their price points. Would it be surprising if one of them has a good game? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but at 10,300, like I think DeRozan's price kind of to where he should be. He's got to put up like 55, 60 DraftKings points to be worth the salary. And can DeRozan do that? He absolutely can. But I don't think I'm going to be going to him. Vooch at 9K. I mean, he has done pretty well against Atlanta this season and against Clint Capella. He's averaged 51 DraftKings points per game against Atlanta for what that's worth. Vooch hasn't been playing that well lately. I think at 9K, I mean, he's kind of priced where he should be. Doesn't really stand out to me on this slate. And then Zach LaVine, like he's kind of been my favorite Bull to target the last few games just because of the price discount you get on LaVine. I know LaVine hasn't been that great either, but I mean, 8K for LaVine, I'm okay paying this price tag for him. We know LaVine does offer, plenty of upside. I know he hasn't been that great lately, but he can still put up 45, 50 DraftKings points any night. I think he's my favorite Bull to go to, but in general, this is not a team I'm super excited about just because of the pricing. If these guys were cheaper, I'd be more interested, but where they're priced at, they don't really stand out as, terrific plays on DraftKings. And then on the other side with Atlanta, so again, a lot of news to watch here. Trae Young is currently questionable. John Collins is doubtful once again, and then Okongwu is actually out, so that's kind of really important. We'll talk about that in a second. Without John Collins, without Okongwu, I mean, that should lead to a lot of minutes for Clint Capella. We did see Clint Capella play 30 minutes last game, and he actually got subbed out with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So he was on pace to play around 35 minutes, but he got pulled, a little bit late in the fourth quarter. They just decided to go small for those final few minutes. Could they, kind of go small here, I guess, but I don't think against Vooch that's really going to work. I think we're going to see Capella play really big minutes. He probably gets like mid to high 30s minutes. I think 32, 34 minutes is pretty likely here. Okongwu is someone that has took minutes away from Capella a lot this year. We've actually seen Okongwu come off the bench, play really well. Sometimes that leads to Capella not getting as many minutes. But without Okongwu, I mean, they have Gorgui Dieng, but I don't think they're very confident in Gorgui Dieng. Like, he's not a guy they really want to play a ton of minutes. So I think Capella is definitely a solid play on the slate. I do like him quite a bit. And then Trae Young's questionable. This is really, really important. It's totally going to, change the slate if he gets ruled out. If Trae does get ruled out, I mean, Bogdan, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, like all these guys are going to benefit. DeLon Wright would be a really, really good value play. We kind of know who benefits when Trae's off the floor. All those guys would be in play. I think DeLon Wright would be a really, really good value at 3,100. Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter would both look really appealing. Bogdan, even at 6K, I'd have a little bit of interest in too. So just got to watch this Trey news. For now, I'm just going to expect Trey to play, but if he doesn't, there's going to be a lot to like from Atlanta. And then Trey himself, if he does play, don't love the matchup here for Trey against Chicago. Chicago's defense hasn't been as good lately because they're still without Lonzo, they're still without Caruso, two of their better defenders, but Ayo's been defending pretty well this year. I'm sure Ayo will be guarding Trey here. Trey can go off in any matchup, but on this slate specifically, I don't think Trey is someone that I'm going to be prioritizing, especially with this price up at 10-4. Like, I think this is probably where Trey should be priced at. When Trey was when he was 9,300, 9,400, like, it was really tough to ignore him on those slates. At 10-4, I'm fine just, not paying up for Trey today, even if he does play. But, if he gets ruled out, there's going to be a lot of good plays to go to from Atlanta. But we can move on to the next game, Memphis and Boston. So, Memphis today, Ja Morant here at the top, 10,200. Look, Ja Morant has just been amazing lately. He's coming off a massive game against San Antonio, actually 2 back-to-back huge games against Chicago and against San Antonio, where he's put up 46 and 52 real-life points, 56 and 63 Draftkings points. The dude's just been playing out of his mind. The matchup here is really, really bad. I mean, it's one of the worst possible matchups you can get. Boston's defense has been one of the top defenses in the league this season. Don't love the matchup for Ja, but man, this dude's just... He's unstoppable right now. It doesn't seem like any team can slow him down. I think Ja still offers big-time upside, and if I'm having to choose between Ja or Trey, honestly, I think I'd rather play Ja, even though it's a tough spot for Ja. I just think with how good his role is, with how many minutes he's playing, just with how well he's been playing overall, Boston's probably going to do whatever they can to stop Ja, but man, the guy just finds ways to get it done. He's so aggressive driving to the basket. He's a really, really good player. He's got massive upside, and I think even in a tough matchup, Ja Morant is someone that I do have my eye on. More of a tournament play, but definitely viable on the slate. The rest of Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, Desmond Bane, I never get excited about these guys. Their prices have come down a little bit, but again, it's a really tough matchup against Boston. I'm not going to be very heavy on the Grizzlies today, but I definitely like Ja. I think he's in play. Bane, Adams, Jackson, these guys don't really stand out. Steven Adams should have to play a lot of minutes here because they're going to need his size against Robert Williams and Al Horford. If we get 34, 35 minutes from Steven Adams, we've seen him have big games when he does play big minutes, but you're not really getting a good price tag on Steven Adams. I mean, he's 6,100, so that's really it for Memphis. I think, Ja Morant's the guy that definitely stands out from this Grizzlies team. We can move on to the other side of this game with Boston. So Boston's a team I really like targeting today, especially without Jaylen Brown. Not having Jaylen Brown is going to open up a lot for these other guys: Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Derek White. And I think Jason Tatum probably, right now at least, looks like the best pay-up option on the slate. I do expect Jason Tatum to be pretty popular, but even at 10K, even though his price came up a little bit, this is probably still too cheap for Jason Tatum. When you factor in the increased usage he should get without Jaylen Brown. Last game after Brown got injured, Tatum played pretty well, 54 Draftkings points, took 25 shots. I mean, we know Tatum's got big-time upside, and obviously the workload for him is going to be even heavier tonight without Jaylen Brown. So I definitely like Jason Tatum on the slate. I think he's a really good player on both sides. I mean, it's kind of obvious that without JB, he's going to be a big beneficiary. But I think Marcus Smart, Derek White also benefit too. Now, do these guys have massive upside? Is Marcus Smart likely to put up 45 Draftkings points? Probably not. But I think Marcus Smart can give us 35, 36 DK points here, which is pretty solid at his price point. I don't think it's 6,400 that Marcus Smart is someone that I'm really running to roster, but he is definitely in play for me. And normally I'm not a big Marcus Smart guy, but I think no Jaylen Brown should help him. I think Derek White should get some more opportunity. Even if he doesn't start, they might bring him off the bench. Even if he comes off the bench, I think Derek White should get more minutes and should get more usage as well. At 6,300, I have no issues going to Derek White today. And then we'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup is. I'm guessing they start Aaron Naismith. Aaron Naismith did start the second half in place of Jaylen Brown. Now, Aaron Naismith has never been a good point-per-minute player. Even if he winds up starting, I don't think I'd be interested in him just because we've seen him start before and do nothing. Not a guy I'd be super excited about. But maybe, maybe they would start Grant Williams. That's probably what they're going to do is start Grant Williams. If you wanted to go to Grant Williams, I don't hate that, but he's 4,600, so it's not like you're getting that great of a price tag on him either. Really, I think Tatum's the guy that definitely stands out from Boston, and then Marcus Smart, Derek White, I think are both in play. The bigs, Robert Williams and Al Horford, I don't know if they really benefit, but Robert Williams always offers a lot of upside. Matchup against Steven Adams, I think is fine. I think 6,900 for Robert Williams, he's a playable option, but yeah, that's really it from the Celtics. We can move on to the next game, Miami and Brooklyn. So Miami, they are on a back-to-back today. We'll have to watch the injury report here. Kyle Lowry was out on Wednesday for personal reasons. We don't really have any update yet for Lowry for Thursday's game. My best guess is Lowry's probably going to be out once again. And with Lowry out, the biggest beneficiary has definitely been Gabe Vincent, just in terms of, increase in minutes and just increase in value. We've actually seen Gabe Vincent start the last 2 games in place of Kyle Lowry, and he's played really well. 33 minutes and 32 minutes, 29 and 38 DraftKings points. Now, Gabe Vincent has never been a guy that, he's not going to put up 38 DraftKings points every night, but when he's playing 32, 33, 34 minutes, I mean, he should probably be, closer to 5K, 5K, 5,200, 5,300. I think we are still getting a nice price tag on Gabe Vincent, and I think as a first look value play, assuming that Lowry is out once again, I do like Gabe Vincent quite a bit today. 4,500 on DK, very cheap on Yahoo as well. So if you want to play Gabe Vincent over there, $13 on Yahoo, he is for sure someone I will be interested in if Lowry is out again. If Lowry plays, then obviously I would get off of Vincent. I'll have more of my updated content over on Patreon. You can check that out if you're interested. But for now, expecting Lowry to be out again. Definitely think Gabe Vincent's in play for value. And then the other guys, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. I mean, Jimmy Butler, I was super high on Jimmy Butler for Wednesday's slate, and he just had, literally his worst game of the season. He played 35 minutes and somehow scored 16 DraftKings points. I don't know what happened, but Jimmy Butler literally averaged, 0.5 fantasy points per minute. He basically put up, PJ Tucker-esque numbers. I mean, that was just... I don't know what happened. I mean, he shot the ball terrible, 2 for 14, but he didn't even do anything else. He got 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Normally Jimmy Butler is going to get 6, 7, 8 assists, 5, 6, 7 rebounds. He just did nothing on Wednesday's slate. I think with Jimmy Butler busting on Wednesday, that probably keeps his ownership a little bit in check today. So if you want to go back to Jimmy Butler, I don't hate it. I played Jimmy Butler on Wednesday, and obviously he was terrible. If I don't play him on Thursday's slate, he's going to go nuts. So if I don't play Jimmy tomorrow, just go ahead and queue up a 60 piece because that's just how it goes. Anytime I play someone and they suck and they do terrible, the next slate when I don't play them, they go off. It happens every single time. So Jimmy's probably going to go off today since he killed my lineup Wednesday, and I'm not going to play him. But he's fine. Bam, I do like this matchup for him against Brooklyn. This is definitely a spot where Bam should have a lot of success. Brooklyn defensively against bigs, LaMarcus Aldridge, Andre Drummond. These guys are not very good defenders. This is definitely a spot where Bam should have plenty of success. I think at 8,600, he's priced where he should be, but Bam is definitely playable. And then Tyler Hero, coming off the bench, should continue to play pretty good minutes, assuming that Lowry's out once again. Hero played 35 minutes on Wednesday against Milwaukee, had a really big game, 48 DraftKings points. He's been pretty good the last few games without Lowry. Ever since he's come back from injury, he's played really well. So definitely think at 6,300, Tyler Hero is firmly in play too. So good amount that I do like from Miami today, especially if Kyle Lowry remains out. And then on the other side of this game, we have the return of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has been out for a while, but he is expected to return for Thursday's game. He hasn't played in about a month and a half, so we don't really know what kind of minutes limit, if he's going to be on a minutes limit. We don't really know right now. This is definitely a wait and see here. It was a knee injury for Kevin Durant, so anytime guys are coming back from knee injuries, leg injuries, I usually assume they're going to be limited. So if KD's limited in his first game back, obviously you can't really go to him. But if he's not limited, if KD's full go, I mean, he's underpriced because without Kyrie Irving, without Ben Simmons, with James Harden no longer on the team, I mean, Kevin Durant is just going to get a monster workload. He's going to get a massive amount of usage. We've seen him be really good in these scenarios whenever he's the guy getting all the usage. He should be 12K if he's fully healthy. But the thing is, we just don't know if he is fully healthy, if he's going to play full minutes. It's just a wait and see right now. But I definitely would have interest in KD if he is full go today. And then the rest of Brooklyn, all these other guys get a big bump down now that KD's back. Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, LaMarcus Aldridge. I'll be interested to see what the starting lineup is. So James Johnson has been starting lately, and he has been playing pretty well. He's a guy that they do kind of want out there for defense. So with KD coming back, do they move James Johnson back to the bench? I would think so, but this will definitely be something to monitor. If James Johnson does go back to the bench, I'd probably be off of him. But if he winds up starting still, even at 4,700, I think I'd have some interest in James Johnson. He might be my next favorite play on this Brooklyn team. But it's really hard to get excited about these other guys from Brooklyn just because with KD coming back, he's going to take so much usage away from all these other guys. It's going to be really hard for Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, these guys to really be worth their salaries. So KD, I think, is the player I'm most interested in from Brooklyn. But that's it for this game. We can move on to the next game, talk about Detroit and Toronto. So on Detroit today, this is not a spot where I really want to be rostering many Pistons. The Pistons are normally a team I don't ever get excited about. Today, there's not much that stands out from Detroit. Cade Cunningham is always playable. He always has upside, but Lately he's not been playing that well. It's now been like seven, eight, nine straight games now, like less than 40 DraftKings points. I mean, Cade Cunningham has just not been that good lately. He can put up a big game any night, but tough matchup against Toronto. I'm not really excited about Cade Cunningham. Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bey, I mean, at their salaries, I'm not that interested in them either. I mean, Detroit's just a team I hate rostering Pistons, and I don't think on this slate I'm really going to be going to any Pistons. Hamidou Diallo's coming back, so it's going to take some minutes away from some of these other guys. It's just this is not a situation I really want to be going to a lot of Pistons, so I think we'll just be avoiding, or at least I will. I'll probably just be avoiding this Detroit team. On the other side, though, with Toronto, so Toronto, another team we kind of have to watch injuries right now. Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby are both currently questionable, so really tough to break down Toronto until we know if VanVleet and OG are playing. The price tags on some of these guys have outside of VanVleet and OG have come up since they've been out. So Siakam's up to 9,200, Gary Trent's up to 6,700, Scotty Barnes 6,400, Malachi Flynn 4,200. If VanVleet and OG are both out, I think we can still look to Siakam, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, Malachi Flynn. Even though their prices have come up a little bit, I still think they would be in play here if VanVleet and OG are out. If VanVleet and OG play, I'm probably just going to fade this Toronto team. I could still see getting to Siakam. It is a pretty good matchup against the Pistons. The Pistons are a team you can definitely beat down low. They haven't been that good defensively against big men this year. But Siakam's not been playing that well lately. He's definitely been a frustrating guy to roster. I've played Siakam like the last few slates, and he hasn't been playing that well. But at 9,200, I still think he offers the upside to pay off this price tag. But I think for me, when it comes to Toronto, it's just a wait and see. We got to see if VanVleet and OG are playing. If they are, not much I like here. If they're out, then we can start to look to Siakam, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, Malachi Flynn. Those guys would all be in play if they are out. But we can go ahead and move on to the next game, Golden State and Dallas. So Golden State today, you got Steph Curry at the top for 11,100. I don't think Steph Curry is going to be someone I really go to on this slate. Really tough matchup against Dallas. Dallas so far this year has done somewhat of a good job of keeping Steph in check. Dallas has been a really good defensive team this year. I just don't think this is a spot where I really want to be jamming in Steph. Now, he can always put up a big game. He can go for 55, 60 DraftKings points any night. But on this slate, Steph doesn't stand out to me as a top pay-up option. Klay Thompson's questionable. He could maybe return. It seems like here they said he expects to play. So, if Klay comes back, that's going to take me off guys like Jordan Poole, Gary Payton, really the rest of the Warriors, even Andrew Wiggins I'm not interested in. I mean, the Warriors are another team. I just don't really like much from Golden State today. It's just not a lot that I like here, especially if Klay does wind up returning. So we can talk about the other side of this game with Dallas. On Dallas, there's not much I like here either. Luka at 12-2 is always someone you can go to. He's shown some massive upside lately. He's had some really big games. Matchup against Golden State, I don't think it's the best. I mean, Golden State's defense has been decent. They've definitely not been as good without Draymond, but still at 12-2, you're paying the premium for Luka. Right now, there's not a ton of standout value, so it's kind of hard to really jam in Luka on the slate. Luka's one of these guys that you can always pay up for because he always offers big-time upside, but am I going to be prioritizing Luka, trying to get him into all my lineups? I don't think so. In general, this Dallas team, I'm not really that interested in many guys here. Jalen Brunson not off the bench, but Jalen Brunson at 6,600, you could go to. Had a really good game against the Lakers last game, but at 6,600, what is Brunson's true upside at this price point? What does Brunson need to score to be a guy that you have to have at the salary? I mean, if Brunson goes for 40, that's a really, really good game, but he's still not, that's not going to make him a guy you have to have. He would have to put up 45, 50, and playing with Luka, I just don't know if Brunson has 45, 50 point upside. So, yeah, this is a game I'm not super excited about. It should be a fun game to watch, but I don't think I'm going to have much, much DFS interest in this game. So we can move on, to the next one, Sacramento and San Antonio. So on Sacramento, I was pretty high on some of these Sacramento guys on Wednesday's slate. They got blown out against New Orleans. The game was expected to stay close. It was a 3 or 4 point spread, and of course it's a freaking blowout. Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, I like both of them on Wednesday's slate. They didn't have the best game. Sabonis finished with 45 DK points in 33 minutes. Lost a few minutes due to blowouts. De'Aaron Fox was not that good at all. He did score a lot, but he didn't really do anything else. He scored 25 points, but only had 2 rebounds and 3 assists, just 31 DK points. But it's a really good matchup here against San Antonio. It's another good spot, another game that should stay close, you would think. I mean, right now the spread in this game, San Antonio is favored by 6.5. I think this game stays close. I think we get full minutes from these Sacramento guys. The game has a 238 total, which is the highest on the slate. So, like, this is another really good game to target for DFS purposes. You know, De'Aaron Fox, even though he busted on Wednesday's slate, like, I like going back to De'Aaron Fox today. Even Sabonis I like too. Fox's role, like, even playing with Sabonis, his role has been really good. He's been playing big minutes. He's been shooting the ball a ton. He's been getting peripherals as well, getting assists, getting some rebounds. Price tag did go up to 8,800, so it's not like Fox is, you know, cheap anymore. It's not like we're getting him at a great discount, but I still think Fox has 50-plus point upside and can pay off 8,800. So definitely like De'Aaron Fox once again on Yahoo. He's really affordable over there. So if you play on Yahoo, only $33 for De'Aaron Fox. I do like him quite a bit over on Yahoo. And then the rest of Sacramento, the one guy I do want to talk about is Trey Lyles. So Trey Lyles was a very chalky value play on Wednesday's slate. He wound up starting again, but he only played 20 minutes. The game before that he started, played really well, played 31 minutes. He started on Wednesday and only played 20 minutes. So we don't really know with Trey Lyles. I mean, if he starts again, you would have to think he plays like mid to high 20s minutes, but I think there is a little bit of uncertainty with his minutes. I think it's all going to depend on how he's playing. Outside of like the main guys, Sabonis, Fox, Harrison Barnes, like you just never know how the minutes are going to be split up between Trey Lyles, DiVincenzo, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb. I mean, Trey Lyles, I still think he's a pretty good value if he does start again, but since his price did come up a little bit, he's not someone that I'm really trying to jam in today. Because he busted Wednesday, he'll probably go off today when I don't play him, but not super interested in Trey Lyles, especially with that bump up in price and the uncertainty in his minutes right now. It's really Sabonis and Fox that stand out the most from the Kings. And then on the other side of this game was San Antonio. So really, really good spot here for San Antonio going up against the Kings. You know, DeJounte Murray at 10-6. He's expensive, but definitely worth the price tag, especially in this good matchup. I mean, Sacramento has been one of the worst defensive teams this season. They play at a pretty fast pace too, and we just talked about how this game does have a 238 total, so we're expecting a very high-scoring game here, a game that, you know, should stay close. If the game stays close, DeJounte Murray should play 35, 36 minutes. He's shown triple-double upside any night. You know, any night he steps on the floor, DeJounte Murray can put up a triple-double, can put up 60, 70 DraftKings points. He's definitely a pay-up option that I do have circled today. I like DeJounte Murray quite a bit. He's for sure my favorite play from San Antonio. Jakob Poeltl at 7-5. I do like the matchup for him. Like, Sabonis has never been a great defender. You know, I think J-Val had a pretty good game against Sabonis on Wednesday, if I remember correctly. But, you know, Jakob Poeltl 7-5. I don't hate the price tag. You know, it's gotten up to a point where he's not a standout play anymore, but he's going to play big minutes if it's a close game. He's been really productive lately. Probably my second favorite play from San Antonio. And then the rest of the Spurs, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Lonnie Walker, these guys I'm not really looking to. It's just Murray and Poeltl, and, you know, Murray for sure the guy that stands out the most from San Antonio. But that's it for this game. We can go ahead and talk about the last game of the night, the Lakers and the Clippers. So on the Lakers side, LeBron once again questionable, but he's going to play. I mean, he's been questionable like every game this season, and he plays all these games. So expecting LeBron to play. If LeBron does play, I mean, he's not been good the last few games, but without Anthony Davis, you would think that would mean more opportunity for LeBron, you know, more just usage in general. And I mean, I think in this matchup against the Clippers, you know, he's probably going to see like Terrence Mann. I mean, Terrence Mann actually did do a pretty good job guarding LeBron last time they played. I know Terrence Mann had a really big game last time they faced the Lakers. I still think LeBron can put up a big game here. Now, does he stand out as like the best stud on the slate? I don't think so. I'd rather go to like Tatum for cheaper. I think I'd rather play DeJounte Murray in a really good matchup. Even John Morant, I like quite a bit, even in a tougher matchup. But LeBron should be pretty low owned, so I think LeBron is always a viable tournament option at low ownership. Russell Westbrook at 8-2, just can't go there. He's just too expensive right now. Just not worth the salary until we see Russ's price come down. He's just a tough guy to roster. You're probably only going to play Russ if by some chance LeBron winds up sitting. Carmelo Anthony at 5,300 should continue to have a pretty good role without Anthony Davis. He's played 28, 30, and 31 minutes the last 3 games. And one thing worth noting, they didn't start Dwight Howard last game, and Dwight Howard only played like 4 minutes. So I don't know if they're going to start Dwight Howard today. I don't know if they're just going to completely go away from Dwight Howard. But if Dwight Howard doesn't see any floor time or any minutes, like that's probably good for Carmelo Anthony, because Carmelo Anthony is basically like he's their center. Even though he didn't technically start at center, you know, whenever LeBron's down on the floor, Carmelo's kind of like the biggest guy on the floor. So Carmelo's basically like playing backup center minutes. He's playing like 30, 32 minutes a game right now. He's been shooting the ball a ton like he always does. I think Carmelo at 5,300 is definitely in play today. He is someone that I actually do like quite a bit, and I'll be interested to see what that starting lineup is for the Lakers. I think if Dwight Howard starts, that might be a slight bump down for Carmelo. If he doesn't start, though, we could see Carmelo play pretty good minutes once again, be pretty productive. And I think if he's not playing alongside Dwight, that should definitely help his rebounding numbers as well. So I do like Carmelo as a lower-owned option. He's never a guy that gets much ownership. He should be pretty low-owned on this slate, so I do have him circled as kind of a cheaper option. And then the other guy that I do like quite a bit from the Lakers is Malik Monk. So we actually did see Malik Monk move back in the starting lineup last game. He played really, really big minutes, 39 minutes, 31 DraftKings points. You know, Malik Monk was playing really well for those stretch of games. Like, he was unstoppable for like a week or two, and then he kind of cooled off, went back to the bench, and now after last game, after they inserted him into the starting lineup, he looked a lot better. He played big minutes as well. Would have to think that Malik Monk probably starts again. Obviously, if Dwight Howard doesn't start, that probably means they're going small and they're just going to start Malik Monk again. 4,700 for Malik Monk. If he does wind up starting again, I think he plays big minutes. They need his scoring. I think he's a pretty good value play on the slate. He's fairly cheap on both sides. 4,700 on DraftKings, $16 on Yahoo. I like Malik Monk on both sides today. Definitely think he's a good play. I think Carmelo's a good low-owned option. I think LeBron's viable too. And that's probably it from the Lakers. I don't think I'm going to anyone else here. So we can move on to the other side of this game with the Clippers. Pretty good matchup here against the Lakers. Obviously, the Lakers play fast. They're not good defensively. I think it's a really good spot for Reggie Jackson. The only issue is that Reggie Jackson is almost 8K, and at almost 8K, it's really tough for Reggie Jackson to pay off this price tag. He's going to have to put up close to, if not over, 50 DraftKings points, and I just don't know if Reggie Jackson offers that upside on a nightly basis. So even in a good matchup, I'm not super excited about Reggie Jackson just because of the price tag. Zubac is 6'5". We saw him actually lose a lot of minutes last time these teams played. They kind of went small, got away from Zubac. He only played 18 minutes. It's tough to tell how many minutes Zubac plays here, like especially if we see Dwight Howard not start. I mean, we could definitely see this game go small. I think the Lakers they're fine playing small right now. I think the Clippers would be fine playing small as well. The price tags come up on Zubac. I think there's definitely some risk with his minutes here, so I'm not super high on Zubac. Marcus Morris, I still think is a fine option at 6K. If this game stays close, he should play pretty good minutes. He's not been that great lately, but he should continue to take a good amount of shots. He should continue to get plenty of usage without Kawhi, without PG, without Norman Powell. So even at 6K, I still think Marcus Morris is a viable play. Terrence Mann at 5,900, I like quite a bit. He was really, really good last time these teams played. He played 36 minutes. Pretty sure he was the guy that was guarding LeBron. They kind of like his defense on LeBron. He's one of their better defenders, so I'm guessing they're going to want Terrence Mann out there to guard LeBron once again. They're probably going to play him big minutes. At 5,900, I definitely think Terrence Mann is a good play on this slate in a pretty good matchup. I like him quite a bit. And that's probably it from the Clippers. Hartenstein, Covington, Kennard, not going to these guys. I think, for me, definitely Terrence Mann, my favorite play. Morris, I don't hate either. If Reggie Jackson was cheaper, I'd like him, but Reggie Jackson is too expensive on DraftKings. And, yeah, I think that's it for the Clippers. And that's all I got for these 7 Thursday games. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, I do appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed, click that like button down below, guys. Click that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And also, go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. Again, if you have not signed up for PrizePicks yet, use code NOAH when you sign up over there, and they will give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. You can take a look at what PrizePicks has to offer, make some picks for Thursday's game, take a look at their entire board, see everything they have up. They'll obviously get a ton of other props posted, early Thursday morning, and I will have my PrizePicks video posted for Thursday's slate. That'll probably go up sometime, late Thursday morning, early afternoon. I will get my PrizePicks video posted, talking through a few of my favorite plays on PrizePicks for this slate. You guys can check that out. It'll be up on the channel later on Thursday. But best of luck tonight. Appreciate you watching as always, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck, guys.